スクダイバー2混論雷動。
ようこそ。たっぷり金を落としておくれ。
ほら、平日とはいえ
献血といえば、初めてバッヘに出会った時、店長さんが吸血鬼扱いしちゃって、そしたらバッヘは自分は背徳主義者だって怒ってたよ。ベティさんもそうなの？
若と違ってベティは吸血種です。でも何でも食べます。
そこだ。へいや、出てこい。はっ、当たれ。はっとせや。やっ、はっ、はっとへいや。ふっとれ。るもんか。
This doesn't feel very good. This game does not feel very good. Can anyone make a good action game? I'm tempted to refund this. Feels stiff. Feels like Dark Souls. I'm having a really rough night. I'm tempted to refund that game. I don't know. I hope it picks up later, but there's no information about it on the internet. I don't know, like, what you unlock or anything. Character just feels heavy. I feel like extremely heavy. I don't like that. I like when they feel light and nimble, not like slow. It just feels stiff. It's like long cooldowns on the tagging and stuff. The moveset is really small. It's got potential. I have like 4 minutes to play it before I can't refund it, so I'm like really on the fence. The jumping feels awful. The air combo feels janky. It just needs to be more responsive. If I wanted that, I would play Elden Ring. I'm having a hard time getting into it. There's still like one more character left to unlock. Maybe he feels better, but it's just slow. I just wish like more games would actually feel good to control. It might get better later. It's just there's like no information about it on the internet, so I don't know like if you unlock more responsiveness later on. There definitely are games like that. There's plenty of games that are like that, so I don't know what to expect. Like I launched them up in the air and the hitbox doesn't work. They like fall before I do. It feels really janky. That game just looks so boring. It just looks so boring. It's just like the same thing, but in an open world. It looks like the exact same game. Like, the combat is still so slow and clunky, and The guy you play feels like he weighs like 10 tons. Like, I just don't get the appeal of those games. Like, if you want lore and exploration, just play Metroid. And the character doesn't feel like shit to control. I just do not understand it at all. I don't. Why are they so popular? I'm more excited for Stranger of Paradise. That looks like it has much better combat. It's not hard to be better than FromSoft, but... Like, I was looking at the forums for that game just now. Every time someone points out that the games are slow and clunky and janky, everybody just tells them to get good. It's like... you know, their opinion is valid, right? And that everybody's been playing these janky games as long as you guys have been. Don't just parrot to get them to tell them to get good. It bothers me. I feel like those games really perpetuate the, it's not the fault of the developers, of course. They're making the games that they want. I don't want to sound like it's their fault. Just because I don't like their games. I actually respect their games a lot, but I don't like how they perpetuate the toxic gamer stereotype. You can't say anything bad about those games. That's someone telling you to get good. It's like... you know, those people are perfectly capable of being as good as those games as you are, right? Like, but they don't like them, so they're not going to. I mean, it's not like a difficult concept. It just bothers me how in that community, like, they get so defensive. It's like, the games are slow and clunky. But people like that, and that's fine, but you gotta realize when it gets more popular like that, that there's gonna be people that don't agree with it, and you can't just tell them to get good. Your community's not gonna grow when you do that. Like, just stop that shit. It really bugs me. It's the same thing with, like, Monster Hunter, too. Monster Hunter community is very similar. People, like, call out those games for being slow and clunky. It's like, they are. They're still great games, but they're not going to appeal to everybody. I don't get why it's... I don't get why it's so hard for people to understand that. I just don't like how hard video games just make it seem like the games are like, they're absolved of having being able to have any criticism. It really bothers me. It's like, just because it's a hard game doesn't mean it's perfect. I play hard games too, but I'm very open about what I don't like about them. It just bothers me how people just tell you to get good. Why should they get good at something they don't enjoy? It just doesn't even make sense as a response. Like, it's like telling somebody who's like afraid of like bugs or something to be like a bug trainer. It's like, yeah, they could get good at it, but they have a fear of it. Like, nothing you say is going to change that. They don't like bugs, so telling them to get good at it is like, it's counterproductive. I don't know, it just bothers me. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Oh, you uninstalled New Genesis? Good call. There you go, this is for you. Yeah, there's much better games coming out. I get that it can be satisfying, it just bothers me how... It bothers me how the community likes to just tell people to get good. Like, you know these people's opinions are valid, right? And they're how you're gonna get, like, more big games like Elden Ring. Is having more people playing, and it's like... It's completely normal and insane to call those games out for what they are. It doesn't make them bad games, but... I don't know. I feel like a lot of gamers forget that, like, not everybody's been playing the same genres they've been for, like, 30 years or whatever. The new people can say some dumb stuff, yes, but their opinions are, for the most part, valid. And like it or not, that's what they're gonna try to build the games around. Because you can't like count on the same couple thousand people to keep buying your game every year. Like, eventually you have to try to grow it, accommodate for like people getting older and loss of interest, time. An adjustment after Neo 2, yeah. Yeah, ironically, somebody said that on the Neo Reddit. Person was like, yeah, I can't get adjusted to it. It's too slow. Like, yeah. Stranger of Paradise is gonna bomb, though. I feel like the way they marketed that game has been very poor. And then it comes out like 3 weeks after Elden Ring, so people that like that kind of game, probably gonna be a little bit fatigued at that point. Yeah, I'm excited for that game. I'm not a Final Fantasy fan at all, but I'm really excited for it. I have not played the demo. Like, how does it play? I haven't really watched anything on it. No, there's no stamina. Thank goodness. I can't play this right now. I'm playing really bad. I don't know, you guys want to see more Dust Diver 2? It feels really clunky. I have like 4 minutes left before I can't refund it, so it's making me anxious to boot it up. Just want a good action game to come out. I have like 3 minutes before I can't refund it. It took too long to get going. It just feels janky. I could refund it. I don't know. I'm getting paid so little lately, so it's making me anxious. I'm already had a really anxiety-filled night. I don't know what to do. It just doesn't feel responsive. It feels stiff. It's a long-ass cooldown on tagging, too, which, like, not my style. There's, like, barely any gameplay of it, so I don't know if it gets better later on. I think the price of the game is pretty asinine. It's like 50 bucks. It feels like a $30 game. That's probably why no one's buying it. I think they cannibalize their own sales that way. It's not a bad game at all, but it's not 50 bucks good. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not having the best night anyway, so I think I might just take your advice. I don't know. I want to give it more of a chance, but it's just so expensive. I'm looking at some gameplay right now on my other monitor. I'm trying to see if it gets better later on. I don't know. It's not at all. It's just that combat doesn't feel very good. I know I have high standards. I've just played the best stuff in the kinds of games I like, so like it'd be hard to please. Yes, I'm not really sure what to do. I'm really mental gymnastics right now. It was donated to me. Dissidia came in and gave me the money for it, so it's not like I paid for it. I'm not out any money. It's just I don't know. I'm making like very little right now, so a neighbor tried to deny me my day off, and I fought for it. I'm like, no, I need a day off. Sometimes being over there is really draining. I've been feeling like really mentally exhausted lately. I've been sleeping a lot. Uh, I haven't felt like eating much. Um, I think just last month in particular was really hard for me with the COVID and everything. You're all saying to refund it, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think about right now. Like, what would I get? I don't want to just spend it on. I don't want to just spend it on DoorDash. Let me see. Is there anything else out right now? Let me try to scope this out here. I don't know what else came out lately. That's something that I would enjoy. Uh, You know, I could do that. How much is Stranger in Paradise? Could just like pay for that right now. Well, after I got the refund. I just don't want to force myself to play the game. I've done that in the past. And it's very self-destructive to do that. I don't want to do that. Like if I'm not feeling the game, I should just get rid of it. Uh, It'll probably be on sale later anyway. Hold on. Let me see how much the Stranger game is. The character just doesn't feel good to control. Feels really stiff. It's Wife Quest. I'm sure this is a masterpiece. Where is it? Really, is there a release date for that? These requirements are pretty lax. I think this game might actually have a chance just because it's a lot easier to run than Elden Ring. Elden Ring has uh, the standard DX12 problems where it can't stream the assets in without it you can't stream the assets in without it stuttering. The requirements for this game are very modest. These are probably really overshot too. I can't see like they want a 6 gig GPU for 30 FPS. I call bullshit there. That should be enough to run it at 720 60 easy. I don't know. Japanese system requirements are usually really bad. It's like either you don't need a computer like this, or there's like one thing in there like grass settings or shadows or some shit. You turn that off and the game runs perfect. Yeah, I think this game might be a if they can't fix Elden Ring in time, I think that some people might give this a shot. Who knows? Who knows how good the port is though? It's anyone's guess. The Neo 2 port was pretty good, but it definitely had some problems. Was it on? I never played the demo. What was it on? Was it on PS4 and PS5? I think it was only on PS5. I think that's why I didn't get to play it. 'Cause I don't have one of those. Yeah, I didn't get to play it. I mean, I liked Neo, and if they got rid of stamina and they have like moveset changing and shit, I'm sure I'll like it. What is this? Oh, this is like some Euro jank. What do you guys think? Should I just refund it? I think I've given it enough of a chance. It's just I'm making so little money right now. It's just it's so damn expensive. It's $50. It's like if I boot the game up again, I can't refund it. It could get better, but there's like no gameplay of it. I can't find any. It just felt really slow. Well, that's how Neo 2 was. The axe sucked. The axe was too slow, and it had like barely any moves, so you had like barely any reason to use it. Even if you like slow move sets, the axe was a big ass to use it. I'm not gonna lie. The axe was supposed to be like the key destroyer, but the fists and tonfas do that better, and they're way faster, and they have way more utility. So that's how I got through that game. Is I had a glass cannon. Uh, what's it called? I had a glass cannon build. Like I could destroy key bars really fast and do a lot of damage. Uh, Playing the axe would have just slowed me down. The fist and the tonfa was like that's like the shit I go for in like every game if I have the option to, and there were a lot of moves that could really remove it quickly. I wish they had a PC demo, but they never fucking do PC demos. This game felt slow too. I tried this game. It felt awful. The character was too slow. Yeah, it's the only game that's on. I'm tired of seeing it. The games I just don't appeal to me at all. Especially after like hundreds of hours in the Neo games. Just curious if anybody who's like actually really played these games reviewed it. Yeah, I tried this game. I was really excited for this game, but the demo turned me off it. Character just felt really heavy, which I don't think most people like that in a platformer. Unless it's like just troll shit like what's it called? Jump King. The Jump King is kind of like a streamer bait game anyway. That game's just like it's good content creator fodder. I don't think anyone actually likes playing Jump King, but yeah, I don't like characters that feel heavy in anything. I like to feel like my button presses are being respected. Uh, Usually be the first thing I complain about if I play something and it doesn't feel like that. There definitely are some exceptions. I like the Tokiden games, but other than that, not really. I think I'm just gonna refund it, folks. I think I'm just gonna refund it. I already put up a video of it. Uh, can always grab it again when it's on sale. I think that's a better choice. Um, because it's not going to be good for you guys if I'm complaining that I don't like it. And, you know, I had the option of refunding and I didn't. I think that's going to be a better choice. So, I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. If the publisher actually wants the game to move copies, I'm sure they'll put it down to like $30. And always try it again later. I gave it an honest shot. It might get better later, but it was just a complete like drought of information on the game at all. So uh, I think that's a better choice. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. All right, I can't show myself doing this, of course. Hold on. Let's move it over here. Just because a game is fast-paced doesn't mean it can't be challenging. And I think Dark Souls has really jacked up people's opinions. Like, it really has. People always say that all the time. Like, you know, it's fast. It's fast paced, so it's a mindless button masher. I'm like, well, Neo's fast paced. Try button mashing in that. Like, like you're gonna get killed. I think like Dark Souls has really fucked up people's perception of like what a challenging game is. It does not have to be slow to be challenging. It can help, yes, but there's plenty of games out there that allow you to be challenged and you know, have an engaging experience, but the character is still responsive. It just bothers me. It does. There's a good tweet about this. like I couldn't agree with that person more. But the easiest way to make something challenging is to give you a character that doesn't feel good to control. So, I feel like doing a run with the homeboys. This is why I stopped playing this mode. I don't know why they think destroying pots is engaging. It always sucks when you get this objective. What's up, Victor? Yeah, I refunded Dust Diver 2. I wasn't feeling it. And I had like 3 more minutes to play it before I couldn't refund. So I refunded it. I feel kind of bad because it was donated to me, but I don't want to play stuff that I'm not enjoying anymore. I've been under a lot of stress lately, and I feel like forcing myself to play shit I didn't like was making it worse. Especially like recovering from COVID and stuff. I need to take it easy. When they put it on sale, I'll try it again. Hold on, what scene am I on? I'm on the right scene. I don't know, I'm hard to please. I'm hard to please. I've been playing games for so long, like... I feel like people don't understand why I'm so harsh. It's not like an intentional thing, it's just... I've been playing games for over 30 years, and I know exactly what I like and what I don't like. Like, it goes for anything else. Anything else you've been doing for like literal decades. I just don't want to play shit that I know I don't like anymore. Some games don't get better. I think most do, but... Yeah, that was the problem I had. I always look at other people's footage to see if, like, there's something of value there, but there wasn't anything. I looked extensively, and that makes it really hard for me to, like, stick with something. Because I don't have a lot of money, so I can't take infinite risks on $60 games. I mean, most people can't, but I especially can't. Well, there's two problems with Dust Diver 2. It's not a bad game at all. I kind of enjoyed it, but I wasn't, like, super immersed in it. The first is that it's $50. The second problem is that it's out right near Elden Ring, and a lot of melee action games, even weeb stuff like that, they have, like, the same types of people buying them. The third problem is that there's, like, no advertising for it at all. It feels like they set it out to die. Even for, like, weeb-adjacent gamers and stuff, like, no one knows about it. I just don't have the disposable income right now to take a risk on something. Sometimes I like when other people can take the risk. Yeah, those are the main three problems with that game that have nothing to do with the game itself. Is just no advertising. Like, I think like the same day as Elden Ring, and then the price. It's the same thing with like Soul Cresta. I hear Soul Cresta's a great game, but it came out like around the same time as Elden Ring, and there's actually quite a bit of crossover between shmup players and Souls players, because they're both like some of the most hardcore genres you can get. And like Elden Ring being $60 and Soul Cresta being $40, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know like what most people are gonna pick. And if they don't have like $100 gaming budget, like, you're gonna pick Elden Ring. I haven't heard much about Soul Cresta, but the main thing seems to be the usual stuff. It's prohibitively expensive, and people aren't used to like arcade-oriented games anymore, so they feel like it's a ripoff. I'm sure it isn't, but a lot of people that play shmups also play Souls games, so very similar kind of skill-based hardcore. And it's pretty obvious that if you like both of those kinds of games, Elden Ring is definitely a better deal. No contest. The Soul Cresta is the new shmup that Platinum put out this month. But no one's playing it, and it's $40, so it's gonna be a hard sell for most non-rich people. For people that like will, you know, not eat for a week to buy games like that. Well, they seem to want to make smaller games. I think they're getting tired of being a outsourced studio. The problem is they're typecast for making character action games, so I don't know how well that's gonna work. That's like FromSoft getting into character action games, even though their games could instantly be better without slow, clunky combat. Like their main fan base was not gonna like that. So I wish them luck, but I don't know. I feel like the odds are against them. It also feels a little bit too late to do that, and people have been farming out character action games to you for like over a decade. The Soul Cresta seems like more like what they want to make, or at least like something that they have the property for. I wouldn't say that most games are trash. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Depends on what your jank tolerance is. I guess more so now that like anybody can make a game, whereas before it was only the select few could. But I mean, most of those games like have like no publicity, or they're a lot worse than other stuff you can play. My problem is just I've been gaming for so long. I haven't become a jaded gamer at all. Like I'm still really passionate and stuff. It's just I'm just at the point where I played like the best stuff in the kinds of genres I like. So it just kind of got to the point like I already know like really what really pisses me off in games. There definitely are some games I've been able to like look past it, but that's because like every other aspect of the game was really strong. Their games just aren't for me. I actually respect FromSoft a lot because they're like the reason why challenging games became a thing again. Because like before Dark Souls came out, we were getting to the point where games like they're basically playing themselves. You know, there just wasn't much to them, just cutscenes and forced walking sections and shit, and like it just started to feel like a movie. They're partially responsible for why we still get so many challenging games. I don't have to like their games to... I still recognize that they are important for hardcore gamers like me. I don't like their games at all. They're not for me, but I'd be stupid to, like, not notice their impact on the medium. Now, it's not, like, taboo to, like, put, like, a lot of money into making a game and, like, have it be hard to the point where, like, statistically, like, most people aren't going to finish it. And they're awesome for that. But I think their games just, they're not for me. But I still recognize their impact. It's a positive impact, especially for people like me that are very gameplay and mechanics focused. It's mostly the community that bothers me more than the games themselves. Because, like, Souls fans, like, you can look on the Elden Ring forum right now. You have people that have, like, never played any of their games before, and are like, the combat's slow, the character doesn't feel good to control. It feels janky. And then people just tell them to get good. It's like, no, their opinion's valid. It is like that. You're just used to it, and you like it, and that's fine. Their opinions aren't wrong either, but telling people to get good at something they don't enjoy playing is just toxic and doesn't it doesn't resolve anything. You want the community to grow, you have to respect their opinions. Don't just tell them they're stupid because they're noticing that it's jank and slow and clunky. Plenty of people like that, and that's fine. It's a popular game, but it just bugs me when just because a game is hard, it's absolved of like any criticism, especially from somebody that hasn't been playing them for like 20 years or something. That just pisses me off. But that's not the developer's fault. That's the community's fault. They're just putting the game out there in the world. It's not their fault that people aren't very welcoming. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about the Neo games that has nothing to do with the game itself is the community is a lot better. Barely anybody is telling you to just get good. And people are actually like willing to help. You know, they'll log on to the game and help you through a boss. They'll direct you to resources, how to make a build and stuff. Like, I think a lot of people would agree with that, though, even if you don't like Neo. The community is really nice. They're great people. It's the same thing with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter community is a lot like that too. It's like, dude, you haven't been playing these people haven't been playing these games with admittedly very antiquated mechanics for 20 years like you have. Like, You gotta understand the new player experience. And like, don't chase them away by just parroting to telling them to get good. You should stop telling people to get good at something they're not enjoying, that they're on the brink of refunding. Like speak calmly to them, be welcoming. Maybe tell them some things about the game that might make them enjoy it more and not want to refund it. Don't just tell them to get good. That was definitely what I liked about Neo, and that's why I stuck around. I don't think the first game was anywhere near as well put together as the second one is, but the community was very nice. People were very helpful and welcoming to me. That's why I stuck around, and I went on to play the second one and make some guides for the game that have like tens of thousands of views. Like, that's the kind of shit you need to like not do. And it's like if the game bombs, then they complain that like nobody wants the games anymore. It's like, no, you weren't welcoming to the people that were willing to give it a chance, and now it's just the same couple thousand sweaty cyborgs playing it, and you know, company can't really they can't sustain themselves off the same couple people forever. It has to grow at some point. I had nothing but a good experience with the Neo community while I was playing it. Very nice people. It's like night and day from like a lot of the other hardcore game communities. Yeah, well, one thing you have to understand about me is I have clinical anxiety and depression, and with that comes a short temper. I get annoyed, I get frustrated. It's something I'm working on, but you know, it's a clinical mental illness that I have. I can't just turn it off. But I am very welcoming, yes. But that's why one of the changes I made is like if I'm not feeling a game, I'm like getting better at like just stopping with it. Because I used to be very stubborn with that when I started out on here. There definitely were some games I was glad I stuck it out with. Like I enjoyed Monster Hunter Rise after I put some mods on it. I had fun with that game. It was a rough start, but I had fun with it. But for the most part, the games I drop, it's just like I wasn't having fun anymore. I know it's not... It's not fun to watch somebody who's not enjoying themselves, so, that's kind of why... It's a subtle change, but that is something I did with my content lately. It's just like... The game's making me tilted, or there's too many things about it that really get under my skin, I just stop playing it. It's not worth it. Because you guys aren't going to get any good content out of it, and I'm not going to finish the game either. Like, I'm going to tap out, so... You guys aren't getting any guides or anything out of it. Like, it's better for me to just, like... better for me to just drop it. Yeah, and that's exactly what I liked about the Neo communities. They were very welcoming to me. I mean, obviously I play a lot of hardcore action games and stuff, so it's not like it was a big adjustment, but people were really nice, and nobody was parroting at me to tell me to get good. It's like, dude, I have like 15 years of me playing hardcore games and shit on here. Like, you don't need to tell me to get good. I'm more than capable of being good at any game I play. It's just, if I don't like it or I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna go and devote that time. Which is what's really weird about the Souls community in Monster Hunter. It's like, those games have things that are very antiquated about them. Like, undeniably antiquated. It's just people have been playing them since they've been out, so they're used to it. But, like, they don't seem to realize that anybody who hasn't been playing the games for that long, they're gonna have that opinion. And they're not wrong, either. But if you push them away, your games are gonna stay niche. It's weird that people don't understand that. But yeah, I get pissed off. I do get pissed off. But I'm doing my best to work around it. It's like a clinical problem I have, my anxiety and shit. So I can't just shut it off. But yeah, I definitely did waste a lot of time on games I didn't like, and I just kind of like made a decision to stop doing that. It's just not worth it. Neo, you know, I'm glad I suffered through that game. I don't think the first one was very good, honestly. There are a lot of things I hated about that game. The combat was great. I liked the loot and stuff. It was like a perfect game for me. The second one is better in every way. The fact that I didn't get parroted to get good, it helped me stick around. like I stuck around because of that. I didn't feel like I was being exiled from the community for like saying that some of the things in that game are jank and they're not fun, and the game is artificially hard in some ways. I think next time someone tells me to get good, I'm just gonna link them my channel and look at the playlists. Like, dude, I have like almost 20 years of of doing sweaty shit in games. Like, you don't need to tell me to get good. I don't like the game enough to get good, so why would I spend time mastering something I don't enjoy? Let's see, what's next? I do some mobile stuff, actually. Let's see. Am I at full power? I am. I might play some games on there for a little bit, actually.
勇士，根据我的经验，你要把一路能收集的物资都带回来。
Yeah, the pacing in this is not the best. I think this game has potential, but they already said that they're going to look into the variety of it. I've definitely played a lot worse roguelikes than this, though. I'll tell you that much. I played way worse action roguelikes than this. And this game is like barely finished. They just need to add and tweak the right things. I think this could become something I would play like regularly. Mostly just the pacing in this game is bad. Hitboxes. Some of the boss fights are shit, like the poison ivy chick. That boss fight is terrible. Because most of the time all she does is just put circles on the ground. It's not a fun or engaging fight at all. Just needs more moves. They have a surprising amount of move sets in this game. But the amount of moves they have, the options are very low. I think they need to get away from the FromSoft design and make the weapons have like more to them. But I'm sure they'll get there eventually. This is Edge of the Abyss Awaken. And I know that the Chinese have very similar taste in games that I do. They just like being plopped in a room with shit to fight. You know, they like beating bosses and doing like cool shit in action games. That's why I've been playing a lot more stuff from that country lately. They're pretty much right up my alley. They're not big into like narrative focus, so they don't really try to make anything that's like super groundbreaking. It's like this game is just fun to play, and it has a very strong gameplay focus. You know, sign me right up for that. I don't need any of that other stuff. Yeah, they don't really try to, their country doesn't really try to revolutionize things. It's mostly just, we just want to make shit that we want to play, which, I mean, I can respect. No, you can't. I hope that they will add that hope that they will add that. And no, you can't. It's like Neo combat, but with way less moves. But hopefully they'll add more moves later. I don't think it's a new perspective. I think it's mostly just... they make games where you actually play the game and not walk around in a dead open world or watch a bunch of cutscenes or be stuck crawling through gates and shit. Like, they just make stuff that's gameplay focused, which is what video games used to be. That used to be all it was. But I'd say in the past, like, 13 years or so, it's become more like watching a movie. It's just now we're at the point where like pretty much anybody can make a game, so you have stuff like this. It's like this is not a revolutionary game at all. It's not, but it's fun. It's got potential, and it's like right in line with what I normally play. It's like gameplay focused stuff. I don't know, there's something to be said about somebody just making a game like this that's like not trying to be like the next new genre. It's like, this is just fun to play. I think there's a lot of value to that these days. Not everything has to be groundbreaking. That's why there's like 5 Marvel movies a year. None of those movies are groundbreaking, but people like them, they're fun to watch, they like the characters. They don't have to change your outlook on life, there's something fun to watch. You don't have to think a lot about it. And I'm glad that I still have games like that I can play. I think people just stopped actually remembering why they like certain pieces of media. It's like, dude, when you were a kid, you weren't like thought-provoked by Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and shit. You just thought it was cool stuff to watch. Like, like when did that change? It definitely is a place for like thought-provoking media, but stuff that's just fun that doesn't make you sit in bed and like recontemplate your outlook on life is just as valuable. Somehow we just like forgot that somehow, even though we're all like that as kids. We're all like that as kids. Your parents would just put like Sesame Street on or something, you'd watch it, like or like Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles or something. And now everything has to be thought-provoking and revolutionary. It's weird. hate this boss. This boss is garbage. Run away and shoot. Always the best boss. Just prevent me from interacting with you even more. It's great. Let me play the video game, please. Thank you. I don't know what they were thinking with this boss. Nice, I got stuck. I'm stuck out of bounds. No wonder I couldn't get out. Early access, folks. I got stuck out of bounds over here. I was wondering why I couldn't dodge that attack. It's like, no, I actually was. Straight out of bounds. It's just normal specials, and then you have like a weapon ability. Like with this thing, it's deboning, where he teleports behind them and he does that slash. There's a sword and shield that has a parry. There's katana with the Iaido slash. Definitely could use a lot more, but I think foundation-wise, this game is pretty fun. Runs just need to be shorter. More combat options is mostly all this game needs. Unfair enemies, too. This guy has, like, no startup on any attack he does. Comes out, like, instantly. Gundam Breaker, yeah. Gundam Breaker, yeah. I played the third one. The thing that ruined that game for me was garbage frame rate. Frame rate made me hate that game. I actually felt sick playing it, because it was like constantly 20 FPS. It's really disgusting to look at. Yeah, I wish that game had a PC port. Yeah, I like that game a lot, but frame rate was poop. Really ruined my enjoyment of it a lot. I heard there's a rumor they're making another one. I sure hope they are. No, it's not on Steam. I'd be playing that right now if it was. It's not. The one that's on Steam is the shitty one. New Gundam Breaker, which is a bad game. The one before that is the one that everybody likes. That one is stuck on PS4. The frame rate is terabad. Nice. Nice. I know that there's a fan mod for Bloodborne that makes it run at 60 FPS on a jailbroken PS4. Man, if someone did that for Gundam Breaker, I would go back to that game. I can't fathom why that game runs so poorly. It's definitely the worst thing about it. I actually started feeling nauseous playing it, so like physically I just couldn't do it anymore. I think low frame rate isn't bad depending on the genre, but when you're trying to make like a fast-paced action game where the camera is moving constantly and the frame rate is that choppy, it's disgusting to look at. Otherwise, that game was great though. I really enjoyed it. Hope the rumors of another one are true.
如果在魔渊深处遇到我，请不要惊讶地张大嘴巴。哦，我忘了，死人是没有情绪的。
Oh, I don't have a perfect dodge trait yet. I should take that. Perfect dodges. The dodge in this game is really good. It's basically like, I think the Bloodborne dodge is like that. Very responsive. When you perfect dodge, you get more invincibility, I think, and also, you can pick things that buff it, like, getting more damage when you do a dodge. You can also slow down the enemy. Also, you can get an elemental attack, which is like really crazy for burst damage. The winning run I had of this, I had like crazy dodge damage. So all I had to do was just like learn their attacks and could like clear a room pretty much. It's actually a bit like Hades and how the progression works, like the buffs and stuff. So like the moveset itself is small, but there's lots of ways that you can build around it. Didn't dodge. Got a lot of overlapping hitboxes there. Didn't handle that very well.
想看看我的战利品吗？嗯。
almost like flawlessly last time, but had a different weapon. Not sure how I feel about this weapon. The problem with the deboning is that they turn around like right away, so it's not like the usual like thief assassin class where you you go behind them. I think it could use a little bit of tweaking. I think the worst thing about it is that it takes all the meter at the bottom. It takes all of it, whereas the katana seems a lot better. My winning run, I beat with the katana. Because the katana has this like Iaido slash thing, and like you can put a lot of those on the screen at once. It's like an almost instant animation. I was shredding the bosses the first time I beat this game. I just kept doing that. You pretty much take all the buffs that go around it. You take like perfect dodge, one of the elemental abilities, and then you take all the stuff that buffs your dodges so that you get more damage. You do a just dodge and then just keep spamming that. Their health bar just melts. Hey, I don't think I will play that anymore until they update it a little bit more. Feels like it's got some potential for sure. I think the run variety is actually in a pretty good spot. It's mostly just a lot of jank in the game, the bosses and stuff. Like the hitboxers are weird, or they don't let you interact with them enough, or visibility is bad. Yeah, that game is pretty sick. I played it for like 6 hours, so I've played worse games than that. That's for sure. People are starting to quit KOF All Star. Like, man, I really had fun playing that game, but it's just getting worse and worse. I couldn't even bring myself to log on to it today. I just felt like just over it. Apparently, people don't like the new update. I haven't even really checked out the new update, but I feel like what they're trying to do is you keep the people who spend a lot of money around because they're not getting new people. I'm sure the Street Fighter collab, I'll stick around for that at least. That's supposed to be like, I think like the mid of next month. I'll stick around for that at least, but I don't know. I've had less and less desire to play it. Actually, I haven't really been playing any of the service games. I haven't been playing the Dynasty Warriors one that much either. Pretty much just been playing emulators on the phone. Which isn't a bad thing. That doesn't cost any money. It's free. I'm hoping Pinnacle of Combat will turn itself around, but I don't know. It's not normal to leave your players in the dark in terms of like what's coming. It's not a good sign. I wanted to keep playing it, but I don't know. I've been down that road too many times. fuck. It's not good.
15.
Select stage. Get ready for a battle of titans!
Get it back. They do bucket its kin. Bucket its kin. Papa! Oh, you can do that, huh? Off standing B.
Ready? Go! Ready? Go! Ready, go!いいだろう。いいだろう。Ready, go!
See, we still have not learned anything from games like Marvel 3. That is not an optimal combo at all. Fighting game trials are like... I feel like with this game, 14 was the same way. They didn't want it to be like super sweaty hardcore, like 13's trials. Those trials are pointless to learn. There's much more optimal combos you can do that are way easier execution-wise, and they take less resources. So with like 14 and 15, they like these ones are decent, I guess. They give you a little bit of an idea of combo paths, but like realistically, you're still gonna have to go on some dude's Twitter account and find their combo video amidst a bunch of softcore hentai being retweeted, which is not good. They need to strike a better balance. Or just like not have them at all, like Battle for the Grid, because like that game would fall prey to that as well. Just with that game, the Twitter combos, you don't need to learn them to be good at the game. If you're good at conversions and you have like other stuff, you can still kill somebody off like 2 touches. I don't know. I feel like they still have not learned their lesson. Marvel 3 was the same way too. The worst thing about the Marvel 3 combos is they were shit. They weren't worth doing. Even like at the beginning of the game's lifespan, people were coming up with way more optimal stuff than that. But then like that game, the commands to do, they didn't even fit on the screen, so it made it a lot harder to learn it. It's a shame. It's like they try to make the games easier, but it's like if you had like combos in there that made sense and they were like they weren't so meter intensive and they didn't need to have like 4 thumbs to do them, maybe people would stick around a lot more. But they never seem to understand that. The combos in those games, the trials in those games are always a mess. It's really weird. I don't think it should be like that hard. There are people that have been mentioning like they should have somebody look at like combos people are doing in actual matches, not just like shit that people are doing on Twitter for retweets, but like actual effective combos in matches that you're not stupid for trying to go for in like an actual competitive setting. And they should like update the game and have those kinds of things. I feel like those trials give a really bad first impression because they're not They're not resource positive. That's the problem. King of Fighters has really held out. They haven't dumbed down their game at all. I've been playing the game for a couple hours. It's nothing like Guilty Gear Strive, where like the game feels dumbed down. The characters are missing like tools that you relied on a lot if you're like a legacy player. They haven't dumbed down the game at all. It's just that the execution barrier in 15 is still pretty high. It's just a matter of doing shit that you can actually land in matches. KOF 13's trials are like completely pointless to do outside of farming for content. Making videos of doing those trials is like very popular, but like most people in that game's competitive lifespan, they didn't do any of those trial combos. Maybe a couple of them, but trials in fighting games are always like a really slippery slope. They're either too simple, like KOF 14, or they're like KOF 15s, where they're not as simple as 14s, but they still like they waste too much meter. So, especially in that game where it's still got the old school like team format, like those combos that they give you, like that one that I just quit out of the game on. Like you're not gonna land those unless it's your anchor. Like the only character that's gonna have the meter to do that is your anchor. So if you're like actually trying to get better at the game, it doesn't make sense to learn those combos because it means that you're limiting that character and that combo to only being used as an anchor instead of like as a point or a mid. They're satisfying to do, yes, but they don't really teach you jack shit about how to play the character. If you're like actually playing real people. Actually playing like actual human beings at the game. And like not trying to just mess around, but like actually get better and win. They're pointless. I reckon the only real fighting game I've played that has good trials is Skullgirls. The Skullgirls trials are like pretty practical, or they're like bread and butter tier combos, something you can land off like any hit that doesn't take a lot of resources, or they set up like a reset or a safe jump or something. Skullgirls is a cut above in a lot of regards. Japanese guys still haven't figured that out. Or just be like Battle for the Grid and just like not have the trials at all, because that game, I think that game would have even worse trials, because the whole thing about that game is it's very open-ended. You have freedom to tag out at literally any point when you call somebody in. So solo combos aren't really something you really need to do all the time. You can always switch out if somebody else is going to be able to do more damage faster. I'm really glad that that game doesn't have them, because there's a number of reasons. The first is the game has changed a lot since it came out, and also solo combos you pretty much only use like if you can do like the really hard ones, or you have your anchor out. That's it. No, they haven't dumbed down KOF at all. It's just the execution. The execution's it's more like civilized than 15. You can still do like minute-long combos and stuff. It's just it's really hard, and in an actual match, you either have to like be really confident to do that, because they changed the way max mode works. It takes more meter this time. 14 definitely devolved into a lot of max mode spam from what I saw. I never got to play that game competitively because the net code was garbage, but I did watch competitive 14, and max mode was like too strong. There wasn't really much reason to do anything else. In 15, they added the Shatter Strike, which gives you like a stagger state or a wall bounce if you counter off it. So that only takes like half a bar, I think. so you can use that to extend combos. Like, if you pop max mode, you have to be very confident that you're going to be able to land it, because otherwise your next character is going to be really crippled in terms of what they can do. It actually feels quite a bit better. The netcode is pretty good too. I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off there. I'm not feeling too great mentally right now. I think I'm going to take it easy. I went ahead and issued the refund for Dusk Diver, so in the event that they give me that, I'll probably buy one of the other games for the channel. There's a bunch coming out this coming month. There's Dawn of the Monsters, Stranger Paradise, Jitsu Squad. I'm trying to think what else. Service game wise, I don't think anything I play is getting a major update. Got a couple early access indie games that might get updates, but yeah, it's gonna be a pretty expensive month. I just didn't like it enough to stick with it, and I couldn't find any gameplay of anybody like really showing if it got better. I've actually been relying on donations to buy a lot of this stuff. I really have been. Revenue on the channel has been very low, so I didn't want to be in a situation where I'm stuck with the game and I'm playing it because I'm stuck with it and I'm audibly like hating it. I used to do that a lot on this channel. I used to play games that I hated and I would stick with them, and it just wasn't good for anybody, I wasn't happy. It's not fun to watch somebody streaming something that they don't like enjoy that much. When they put it on sale, or maybe I'll ask for a review key or something. I'll definitely try it again. But right now, I didn't feel like it was worth it. I don't have the disposable income to drop like that much money on something. I just wasn't enjoying it that much. It'll probably be like $30 in a couple months. You can always try it again. But yeah, I had like 5 minutes left before I couldn't refund it, so I was like, I should probably just refund it. So it's not good to. I used to be really stubborn about that. I used to try to. It's kind of like an abusive relationship in a ways. Like, the other person is not for you. They're treating you like shit. You don't like being around them, but you still like stick around them and hope that they'll get better. And statistically, that does not happen. In an abusive relationship, it's easier to just leave the person than it is to stick with them and hope that they'll like learn that they're doing something wrong. That's kind of how I've been with games. Sometimes I keep trying to see the good in them, but then like there's other parts of it I just don't like, and there's too much of the things that I don't like. And I just get increasingly tilted and pissed off, and that's not good for anybody. You guys don't want to watch it, and I've been, I recovered from COVID last month and stuff. I'm still like recovering mentally from that. Physically, I'm fine, but mentally, I've really been down in the dumps. So I just didn't want to stick with it. I think it's a better decision for everybody. I've got other stuff to play. Will Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires get a patch? I seriously doubt it. I would be shocked if it did. I don't think it will. Keep in mind it's been out since December in Japan, so that doesn't help. If they were going to add anything significant to that game polish-wise, I think they would have done it already. I could be wrong, but I can show you right here. Give me a sec. They haven't done anything with this game in a long time. This was the last update. This was the update that added the non-Japanese languages to the game. They have not done anything on here at all. There's no branch update at all. So That tells me no. Sometimes it's a nice little trick if you want to know if a game's getting support dropped or not. You can look. You can look on that site. If it shows that they're working on something, then there's a patch coming. If not, then chances are they're not. It's usually when they work on patches for Steam games. They they have like a private beta or like a QA branch where like they have the content, but it's not public. They have not done anything to the game in a couple weeks, so I'm going to assume that's not happening. I think Nine Empires is pretty fun. I like playing it. It's just parts of it are just really shitty. It doesn't feel like a good 20th anniversary game at all. Not in the slightest. Just really poorly put together. It doesn't feel like they put that much time into it. It feels like I think what actually happened with that game was that when they announced it, they either had barely started working on it or they were pretty far along, but then like a lot of the stuff that we've heard about since then, like Age of Calamity, the new Fire Emblem Muso, like they got published to make those. They got commissioned to make those, and we all know that Dynasty Warriors mainline stuff sells like shit compared to the collaboration stuff. So they probably like took like almost everybody off the Nine Empires project and put them on those other games. It about lines up because Nine Empires was announced in 2020. And the marketing for that game was really weird. They went like months just showing like screenshots. They showed like barely any gameplay. I don't have any inside information, but just like looking at the timeline of like when they announced that game and then like the stuff that came after that had a lot more effort put into it and made more money. Suits of the company probably just told them like, oh, just don't work on that game right now. Work on those other ones. And then like once they finished with most of that, they went back to Nine Empires and just kind of crapped it out. I don't see how that game. How could it take 2 years to make? I think that's what bothers me about it the most. It was delayed and pushed back, and the game was like vaporware for so long. That usually implies that like they're trying to make the game better. But then the game comes out and it's not bad at all. It just doesn't feel like something they put a lot of time and money into. Oh, I would theorize that they got decently along into it, but then they got the commissions from Nintendo, and they took like everybody off that game, and then just put out what they had. That's why it's probably missing so much content and stuff. 8 Empires with the Extreme mod. I do not own 8 Empires. I don't own that game. What is the Extreme mod? What is that exactly? I don't know what that is. I mean, when I load into a cutscene in Nine Empires, and the trees right next to the characters are not even rendered properly, the textures aren't loading in properly, it doesn't seem like something indicative of a game that was in development for 2 years. I'm sorry, but like visibly right there, you can see that the trees textures aren't loaded in, and they're right next to you. They're not like far away. Like I think games that are in development for like more than 2 years, like that game supposedly would have that kind of shit figured out. But nope. I don't know if I want to go back to 8 combat. I think I'm good on that, honestly. I don't really think I want to do that. That sounds cool, but eh. Yes, Nine Empires was my first Empires game. Which is probably why I liked it a bit more, because I didn't have anything to compare it to. But I'm fully aware it's missing a lot of features and stuff. But I didn't play the other ones, so sometimes it's nice not having like 20 years of experience with games, because you can just go into them blind and you don't have like a mountain of expectations. That's kind of how I felt with Nine Empires. I definitely will still play that more, but I kind of unlocked almost everything but red hair. That's like the only thing I have left to unlock. I also played like 40 hours of that game in like a week, so I kind of wanted to give it a little bit of a break. But yeah, I don't think I would be shocked if Nine Empires was in active development that entire time. I really don't think it was. There's a lot of things about that game that shows it being rushed. Obviously, the COVID pandemic hit like pretty much right when they announced that game. I'm sure that complicated things too, but still, 2 years on a game like that, like it's basically just like it's like a separate mode for an existing game. It's kind of like, it's not even an expansion pack. It's basically just like an alternate mode. They didn't really add anything to it either. They didn't add any weapons or characters or new movesets or anything. I would be shocked if they were actually working on that game the entire time. I would call bullshit if they even if they did say that. I'd be like, no, you probably worked on that game for like a year or less, and you put out what you had because you got jobs from Nintendo, which are going to pay like way more, which makes sense from a business standpoint. But they should not have announced that game when they did. I feel like they just did that because they that anniversary stream, they announced the Dynasty Warriors 9 mobile game, which is not doing well. It's not very good. The Dynasty Warriors 7 mobile game, the Overlords one, I play that game on my mobile stream sometimes. That game is making tons of money. So, I think they just announced it when they did because they actually learned from a lot of other companies try to do that shit, where they, like, here's this mobile game of this ancient franchise on this anniversary stream or whatever, and you're like, everybody's expecting a new console game, but then like, nope, you get a crap mobile game like Diablo Immortal or something. So it's like they had to announce something console, but that's all they had. So, but I think the fact that that game came out like 2 years later, it made the expectations very high. And it's very obvious it was not in active development that whole time. It can't be. It can't possibly have been. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like less than a year, actually, like 10 months or something on that game. And then like a skeleton crew on it, like barely any people allocated to it. Probably like a small percentage. I mean, it's Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. It's an alternate mode to a critically maligned game from like both critics and just regular fans. Like, I don't really think they expected it to sell much. I don't know though. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Streams for today. Let's see. I don't know what the plan is today, actually. Tuesday I have off from kitty sitting tomorrow, so probably won't be doing much with the channel that day. Probably just play random stuff. I don't really have much of a backlog right now. The only thing I bought recently that I haven't finished that I didn't completely hate was the Final Fantasy remake. Other than that, I finished most of the shit I bought. I have a couple games in here I haven't really touched yet. Let's see, where is it? This Warm Snow game, I haven't touched this yet. I probably might check this out later today. Might go back to Grid, KOF 15. Lost Ark I kind of wanted to try, but I just wasn't feeling it when I played it. I could use something to grind on right now, though. I still have my mobile stuff, too. I haven't played Punishing Gray Raven that much lately. I might start incorporating that into home streams. I think people might like that. Yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. Either the afternoon or the evening, I will be back. Thanks for watching.